The soup isn't for you. The soup is for the perfect little soup boy who loved soup so much that he died.
I'm nervous.
Why are you nervous?
Because I'm not smart. Alright. Welcome to Notesworthy, a discussion of strange things found on the internet.
I'm Morgan.
And I'm Jack.
I'm gonna read you some posts from the I can't speak. I'm gonna read you some posts from Tumblr.
And I'm gonna drag some stuff up from Twitter.
Cool beans. I swear, someday you'll introduce us without sounding like you have been suddenly stood in front of the class to present a project.
I will, I promise. Can I read you our first tweet?
You may read me your first tweet.
Alright. The tweet is, Americans being like, this building from the 1900s is one of the most haunted places in the world. Like, okay, I'm sure it's more haunted than all the places in other countries that have been standing for nearly a millennium in one form or another. And this is from someone whose display name is in all caps, what do you mean you're at soup? Or at queer fox with 2 X's.
That's some quality nameage right there. I really wish I had the Tumblr post handy, because I this very distinctly reminds me of a post talking about how the creepiness is determined by different things in the US versus in Europe. Because in the US, haunted, like, sort of creepypasta-esque vibes come from space and being in an absence of, like, a people-populated area. Whereas in, like, Europe and stuff, it comes from, like, time, because they've been there so long that, like, pretty much every plot of land probably has at least one dead person buried there.
Yeah. I think a lot of it in the United States, too, is, like, because we're used to places with a lot of people. So when you go to a place and there's, like, not people, you're like, I don't like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like...
There's also probably just sort of the residual, like, awfulness built into the land based on the terrible things that we did to the people that did live here a long time.
Yeah. And it's like, because I've been to Europe, and I've been to many an old place, you know, castles, old buildings, places that got completely burned to the ground during wars, and they're not creepy.
Yeah, they don't have, like, creep energies.
They're just,
like,
old.
Even the Vatican has kind of just like a, this is a tall place kind of vibe.
It's like, yeah, this castle's, like, super old. Or no, it was a monastery, or, like, something like that. It was, like, super old, and, like, at some point, like, occupied by, like, Nazis or Russians, one or the other, and, like, partially dilapidated, and, like, not creepy. But, like, if you told me to go into, like, a 7-Eleven at 4 a.m, I'd be like, fuck no. Absolutely not.
I mean, I would go to a 7-Eleven at 4 a.m. here. But that's just because I'm out and about at 4 a.m, and I see the people stuck working in gas stations at 4 a.m. as my beleaguered coworkers.
I understand that. If I have to, like, drive somewhere, and I have to stop in, like, a gas station in the middle of nowhere.
I mean, in the middle of nowhere, that's a different thing. I'm talking, like, in town.
That's fair. Like, once I was driving somewhere, and I stopped at, like, a gas station just to pee, and I got out of my car, and I kind of stretched for a second to, like, shake up my bones, and, like, I eye contact the lady at the cash register, and I thought I was going to die.
Oh, no.
Like...
You know where I will happily go at any hour? It doesn't matter. Buc-ee's.
Oh, listen. Buc-ee's?
It's so big that it, like things like Buc-ee's and Walmart and H-E-B that are open 24 hours, they have this timeless quality that doesn't make them creepy to be in the middle of the day, because once you're inside of them, it doesn't matter what time it is outside, it looks the same.
I will say this. The difference with grocery stores in the middle of the night is that when you go in at the middle of the night, it's just full of, like, people stocking shelves. And then you kind of feel like you're, like, where you're not supposed to be.
Oh, I don't. I'm so happy to be there, because then I just sort of, like, snake around those folks who happily have their headphones in while I go by happily with my headphones in. And I know I'm a person who thrives off of social interaction, but that is my ideal when shopping.
Yeah. Like, I think the best thing about grocery stores when they're 24-hour in the middle of the night is that you just go around and just kind of, like, no one bothers you. And also everything is in stock.
Yes. That's so true.
Like,
but anyway, sorry.
It's just the
Please
best.
Continue.
I also would like to mention that a lot of things in the United States are haunted, is I think because ghosts have, like, an expiration date.
Do they?
I'd like to say that ghosts, like, they are based... Because ghosts stick around when, like, a person has too many feelings attached to something. And, like, eventually those feelings expire and the ghost goes away.
The ghost, like, chills out and goes and does something else with their life or their death or whatever the fuck.
Right. And so since a lot of the dead people in the United States are fresher than the ones in Europe.
I mean, I would say that wars in the United States did not happen as recently as, like, the world wars in Europe. Like, we haven't had a war on U.S. soil in quite a while, if I am correct.
Yes, but...
There's just a lot of murder and shootings.
Yeah.
Can we talk about something happier?
Americans tend to have lots of, like, tragic dying.
Okay, there's a lot of tragic dying in a lot of places. Let's not sugarcoat it.
I know. But it means that there's a lot of
tragic
ghosts.
dying happens a lot. I don't know. Maybe.
Like, I will agree that there are definitely haunted places in Europe, but...
And other places, for sure.
It's also, I guess, maybe a different kind of haunted.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a less angry haunted, perhaps. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because if this place is haunted, but the ghost is just kind of, like, wallowing, is it really haunted?
That's fair. At that point, you just have a ghost roommate.
Yeah, that's different.
For it to truly be, like, haunting, it has to be vengeful, I think.
Or sad. Sometimes ghosts just cry.
Can we talk about anything less depressing? Can I tell you a post now about cranberry farming?
Yeah, I'd love to hear about cranberry farming.
Unless you have anything else to add about ghosts.
I could keep talking about ghosts, but I'll pause for now.
Okay. Why? Do you have more ghost posts?
No, but I have a lot to say about ghosts.
That's fair. You can save it for another day when I don't feel like it's depressing.
All right.
Because I'm happy to talk about the Fae and what have you. It's just, ghosts just make me sad. I'm a little bummed out.
I understand.
All right. Dombinik, like with a B in the middle, says, why do they always show cranberries in those big pits and it's implied it's wet and possibly swimmable? Do cranberries really grow like that? And then there are several replies. I'm not going to name all of them, but you've never heard of the bog? The what? And then someone tagged it. I forgot some people don't understand Massachusetts. And this person said, each addition to this post makes my blood run cold. And then a kindly stranger comes in with an explanation. There's a photo of a field surrounded by little moats full of just like plants with lots of red berries on them. And it says, this is a cranberry bog, unflooded. It's how cranberries grow. Once they're ripe, the bog is flooded and the cranberries harvested. And then when it's flooded, they just sort of like, basically by using big floaty things to round them all up and then scooping them out of the water. And then someone goes, thank you. I hate it a little I hate it a little less, but the horrible little man in my head is still screaming, bog body, bog body, bog body, but I appreciate the education. And then, here's a really interesting bit. Bomber Queen 17 says, oh, here is a fun little perspective on cranberry harvesting I never heard about anywhere else. The guy that owns the restaurant right down the road from the farm, who fries our chickens sometimes, is from Boston, with the strongest Boston accent ever, and in a former life, before he started slinging reasonably priced barbecue and occasional organic chicken, he was a cranberry farmer. His farm was on the leading edge of kind of using organic/sustainable pest control methods, and one of the things that they did to keep insect damage down was that they encouraged wolf spiders to live in the cranberry field to eat the bugs. This was all fine and good until they flooded the bog. Now, you don't just flood the bog and then go around it in a boat or whatever. No, you use hip waders to get in there and put the big floaty things where they go and get all the berries and such. Well, when you're in the bog in hip waders, that makes you the tallest thing. Wolf spiders can swim a bit, but they don't like it, so they're, quite understandably, looking to climb out of the water onto a tall thing.
Oh no.
So yeah, the first interview question he always asked, trigger warning, spiders, always asked potential cranberry bog harvester hires was, "Are you cool with spiders?" "You'd be amazed," he said to us, shaking his head a little, "how many guys would just straight lie. Like, you think I'm asking you that question to be cute? Nah, man, you're gonna have 100 wolf spiders trying to climb your eyebrows. You gotta be chill. Those wolf spiders are fellow employees. You really gotta be chill with spiders if you're gonna work a cranberry harvest."
I feel like I would be okay with that.
I would very much not be. I would say I was cool with it, and I would try to be cool with it, but as soon as they were on me, I'd be like, I am not cool with this.
I feel like here would be my only thing, is I'd have to have goggles on, and it'd be fine.
That's fair?
Because...
But you have a mouth.
Oh well.
And ears.
I don't think they'd try to crawl into me.
I know they wouldn't. That's
How big are wolf spiders? As far as I know, they're not small.
They're medium, I think. But the reason I know that I would try to be cool with it and then definitely not be cool with it is because praying mantises are chill dudes, right? They're chill.
Mm-hmm.
And one time in the middle school, and granted, it has been many years since I was in the middle school, given that I am now out of college, but there were some boys messing with this very large praying mantis, and I was like, "Hey, step off, leave her alone, she's done nothing to you." And I was like, "Here, give her to me, and I will go and put her somewhere where you can't mess with her." And so I held my hand out to the praying mantis in an attempt to help her out. But the minute she started to walk on my hand, I shrieked. There was no reason for me to. She made no aggressive action, and I invited this encounter. But suddenly, there was a very large bug touching me, and I wasn't okay. I wasn't okay anymore. That's my biggest squick in terms of just me as a person, is overly big bugs that I would want to squish but can't squish because they're too big, or overly large quantities of bugs. So this wolf spider situation would be very much not up my alley.
See, I want a tarantula.
You do?
So I'd be very okay with bug crawl on me sensation.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the opposite. It would have to be a larger bug and not a little bug.
That's fair, I suppose.
Because...
I'll happily have a lightning bug on me, but also you can't really feel them.
The thing is that I'm quite ticklish. And so whenever, there is, someone touches me and the touch is small, I hate it.
I did not know this about you.
I require pressure.
See, I think you're overestimating the substantiality of a tarantula, though, because that's a very light touch still.
Yeah, but it's less light than, I don't know, a smaller spider.
You know what I cannot stand crawling on me,
What?
Specifically in terms of bugs?
What?
June bugs. Their legs are grabby. Once they touch you, they don't want to let go. You have to forcibly fling those hoes.
I've never had a June bug on me, and I never want one on me.
They're grabby as fuck. I don't like them. I hate when I'm my grandparents have a pool with a light in it, and it's really nice, and it's out in the country, and I love it. But when the light's on, all the bugs are like, hell yes. And so they'll just land in the pool water. So if you're swimming around, you have to be careful, because if you raise your arm up, sometime a June bug could be on it, and you gotta go, and then get rid of that bug.
That happens also with my pool back where I live, because it also has a light in it, except we have to be extra careful, because sometimes it will attract wasps.
No, in the nighttime?
Yes.
Nighttime wasps?
Yes, because we'll
deeply unpleasant.
We'll turn the light on right as the sun is setting, and so the wasps will still be out and about a bit. And they'll be like, oh, there's a light still, and it is bad.
We only turn the light on when we're, like, intentionally going out to swim in the dark.
Yeah.
It's really nice because you can, like, look up and see in the sky because of the, like, light emanating upwards. You can see the bats hunting the other bugs.
Oh, fuck yes.
It's very nice. I'll take you sometime. But I just realized we've talked a lot about bugs lately. But
you're the one who brought up bugs this time.
I am very much the one who brought up bugs this time. I also was the first one who brought up bugs last time because of bees. We talked about the apple bees. But I want to talk about cranberries for a sec, because how wild is that you know what? I want to get these berries out of these sticks. Let me just put a bunch of water on them.
I mean...
and let them float in an upwards direction. I mean, that's very ingenious, whoever thought of it.
It is. I'm guessing that someone realized at some point that they float.
Someone must have, because otherwise we wouldn't know this.
Right? And the thing is that little berries like that are very hard to harvest.
That's true.
Without, like, squishing them.
At least they're, like, hard berries.
Yeah.
Like, cranberries are pretty hard, aren't they?
I love cranberries.
I love cranberry juice. I don't know if I've ever actually eaten a cranberry.
I meant cranberry juice.
Okay. I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Cranberry juice, delicious.
Absolutely.
Heyo! 3 episodes at once is wild, and I am so glad I do not have to do that again. But I've got some important news! We're going to be uploading a new episode every Tuesday, barring the occasional holiday or illness that we'll warn in advance of if we have to miss. It's late in the year, so schedules are always hectic. Those announcements will go out on our social media, so you can check our WordPress blog, our Instagram, and of course our Twitter or Tumblr, all of which are at notesworthycast. And now that this podcast is out in the world, we'd love to hear what you all think of it. Any way you want to contact us is wonderful, but it'd be especially great if you could rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts so others can find it. Tell your friends. Put it on in the car while your relatives are trapped with you like I'm planning to do. Or don't. I'm not your mom. Anywho, I hope your day's going well. Bye! Alright, do you have a tweet for me?
Do I have a tweet for you?
Yeah, do you?
This tweet is from the Best of Next Door Twitter account. And it's a screenshot, obviously, from someone on the app Nextdoor.
I don't know what that is. Please give a preface.
Basically, Nextdoor is like an app where like people in like the same neighborhood can like post about like neighborhood related things, where it's like,
oh, okay.
blah 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 this, or like someone's like leaving their trash out, or like there's like a neighborhood block party.
So it's an app for snitches and block parties.
Or like, hey, someone lost their dog, stuff like that.
Oh no.
But this screenshot says, someone keeps delivering soup to my house with a note that says, soup for my perfect little soup boy. I appreciate the free food, but I don't like soup. Please stop this.
Oh. Soup for my perfect little soup boy? What do you think the cause of this could be? Because I think it must either be a case of mistaken identity or just like a really dedicated prank.
I'm on the side of like very dedicated prank.
Uh-huh.
Just because I cannot imagine like any other situation that it could be mistaken identity.
If it's the case of a mistaken identity, it could be like an inside joke kind of thing. Like, here's your soup.
That's the thing.
But like,
is how would
they not know they were delivering it to the wrong person?
Like, after like the first couple of times, they would have been like, hey, person who I'm supposed to be delivering this soup to, isn't that funny? And the person would have been like, I haven't been getting any soup.
Yeah, that's fair. But like, how many times did they say they did it? They said a couple of times, right? So
it just says
like 2 or 3.
It just says that someone keeps delivering soup, which indicates that means at multiple
least
times. And it's like, what?
Soup for my perfect little soup boy. Okay, let's discuss the potential identity of this prankster, because you know it's not like a kid, Because what kid is A, going to deliver soup to a stranger and call them their perfect little soup boy unless they, like, are into some very specific sort of fandom or something. Like that takes, like, a next level kind of, like, exposure to, like, weird internet memeage, you know? Or, like what kid's gonna have soup on hand? Like, is the soup in Tupperwares? Is it canned soup?
Oh, I didn't even think that it could be canned soup.
It could be canned soup.
That actually
makes more sense. My first instinct is that it's in a Tupperware and someone's just making soup for this person.
Yeah. I just had the thought that it could be like a little old grandma that's kind of like not quite sure where she is anymore.
See, that's the case of mistaken identity I was after.
There you go.
There we go. It's a grandma who thinks it's for her grandson, but little does she know her grandson died 40 years ago. And now we're back on ghosts.
The soup is for the ghost.
Yeah, the ghost is living in your house. The soup isn't for you. The soup is for the perfect little soup boy who loved soup so much that he died. So you have to put the soup out for the ghost that's living in your home. And the deliveries are kindly being made by this soup ghost's living relatives so that you do not have to fund this ghost's soup addiction.
Because you don't like soup. So you wouldn't have any reason to buy soup.
Yeah, exactly. Why would you have to provide the soup? You just live here.
Have you checked to make sure the soup isn't disappearing again after you bring it into your home? Because that's the soup ghost.
That's a good point. It's a good point. They said, I appreciate the free food, but I don't like soup. What if they've eaten the soup and that's why they keep delivering it because the ghost is not getting the soup that they require?
There you go. We've solved their crisis.
The ghost resides in your home, but it does its hauntings elsewhere. And it's the people that are the subject of the hauntings, such as writings upon the wall or the mirror that says, "Soup, please, your perfect little soup boy." And they want this to stop. So they are delivering soup to the domicile of this ghost that is relentless in haunting them in quest for more soup.
It's like the person who became the ghost was at like a party and perished. It was like I'm trying to think of something that's like not sad, but we'll just leave it there. And so unfortunately their ghost is trapped there, but like it's their like respawn point, you see? But they could leave the place to haunt elsewhere as their job.
Sure.
And then, but they have to return.
Why does it need to respawn? It's a ghost. It doesn't die.
No, but it can phase through walls wrong, and then it ends back up at the house where the soup gets delivered.
Okay. No, my thought was that the ghost died choking on soup because it loves soup so much.
That's a pretty chunky soup.
You can inhale water wrong and die.
That's true. That's called drowning, though.
Okay, they could drown in soup by accident while eating soup, but choking on it sounds like it doesn't evoke an image of just drowning in a soup pot.
I like the image of someone drowning in a soup pot.
Why do you like that image? Let's talk about this. I know I'm not your therapist, but let's break this down.
It'd have to be a comically large soup pot.
I mean, perhaps it's an industrial soup kitchen. And I don't mean the soup kitchen where people give away soup to those who need soup. I'm talking about like a place where they can the soup.
So how is there someone living there, though?
They don't have to live. No, I'm saying like they could drown in the soup pot. You don't have to respawn where you died.
That's what I just said.
The place where their unfinished business is.
The unfinished business was that they never finished their soup.
That's why they need the soup deliveries.
Yeah. But
it's an annual offering, and you've recently moved there, and you don't know the protocol, so someone is just making your life easier by delivering the soup, clearly labeled who it's for, and you, in your arrogance, have presumed that you are the perfect little soup boy.
Yeah, you're not the perfect little soup boy. You don't deserve that title until you die in a soup-related accident.
right, let's lean into the ghost thing, because I've got a Tumblr post for you, and it's quite short.
All right.
General Grievous Dating Sim, yes, that is in the URL, says, man, Victorian slang was fucking lethal. And then they add a photograph of I assume, dictionary, and it says, got the morbs. Social, 1880. Temporary melancholia. Abstract noun conjoined from adjective morbid. Literally, how was anyone expected to say something like this with a straight face?
Oh, I'm sorry. I've got the morbs right now. Granny died. I've got the morbs. Granny died and she's smacking around in the walls.
No. No, because this is temporary melancholia. It's not like grief. It's like, can you come out today? I am so sorry, dear brother, but I have got the morbs.
Oh, how come, my dear brethren? It seems I've misplaced my favorite letter opener.
It's like you, when I'm like, are you... I mean, in fairness, all slang is dependent upon, like, the society surrounding it. Because, like, someone else in the future would be like, how could, in all seriousness, someone say to someone, are you not feeling peoply today? But we say that in all seriousness to one another all the time.
That's true.
In order to determine our levels of desire for social interaction. So it just feels like a very Victorian not feeling super peoply, or I'm a depresso espresso, to say, got the morbs.
Or how I say sometimes, I feel all smacked around right now. That doesn't mean anything.
That's new. I haven't heard that one.
Is that a new one? I feel like I've picked that up recently, along with, yeah, that tracks.
I've been saying that tracks a lot lately. Do you have a tweet for me?
I do have a tweet for you. It is a short one.
Okay.
It is just, hate how the compose tweet button looks like a quill pen. I am not worldly. I am not an intellectual. I am a blithering idiot. Give me a crayon.
Oh my god, you're right. Who's that from?
It is from @HeldMeLong, or Jed, as their display name says.
I see.
And it struck a chord with me, because...
That's a good point.
It's like, I guess it's a quill to fit their, like, bird aesthetic, but it makes it...
Wait, what?
Twitter's got their bird aesthetic.
Yeah, but what does that have to do with a quill?
Feather.
Oh, see, I never made that connection. I just think of quill as, like, old and fancy.
It is feather, though. I've written with a quill before.
I have desired to write with a quill.
It sucks like shit. It's so hard.
I feel like it's easier if you also know how to, like, work with a fountain pen.
I have a fountain pen, but it's a cheapy one that I got from Poland. Anyways.
Ooh.
But, and this is like a mobile Twitter thing, because on desktop Twitter, the tweet button is like a big circular button that just says tweet. But on the mobile, it's like a little quill that like pops up that you can smack. And
yeah, I've seen it.
It's like almost Shakespearean in nature, like when you're looking at it. But then you like pull it up and you tweet like, some dogs are just cat that goes boof. I am not an intellectual. Give me a crayon.
Shall we wrap this? I have a post I could read you really quick because it's super short and it's just very good.
All right. I'll let you have our final post this time.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Roman-Knights says, me doing up the buttons on my Hawaiian shirt. I am not for consumption. Me pausing and then undoing a button. Titties.
Oh.
It's such a gay mood.
Oh, it's so good. I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you so
All
much.
right. I love you.
I love you more. Today is ghosts and the internet and ghosts on the internet. Thank you for listening to Notesworthy.